Today is another day down here in the shop. We have the 180. We're actually taking a break from the G37 because when I left the house today, it didn't want to start. So I'm gonna leave that for another day. But today we have the 180. I'm gonna put a clip in the very beginning of what was happening the other night. So I drove this thing the other night when I was working on the G37 to come here to go actually pick up a gas can, but I ended up not picking it up. So what happened was something is going amiss with it. It's either the diff or the transmission. Something's whining really bad. Something might not have fluid, or the exhaust is just rubbing on something completely. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it up in the air now, and we're going to see what's going on underneath. Hopefully it's nothing super major and we can fix it today. Now what's going on with the 180, it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. So what happened to it was the diff is actually bad. If Rudnick's car wasn't so loud, you'd be able to hear this really good, but you can hear that up there. So what happened was either the diff is a little bit low on fluid and it got really hot and broke the weld, or just one of the welds broke in itself. So honestly, it's not that big of a deal to me because over here, sitting on a floor, getting a bunch of dirt in it and stuff, I have another diff right here. So this diff is all ready to go. I actually welded this one up just for that exact reason if I blew a diff. So the diff is bad. I'm just gonna keep running it. If anything, the other piece will fly around inside and lock itself back in somewhere, or I'll just end up driving it down the road and just end it up sideways because the diff locks up on me, which either way won't be too bad. So that's what's going on with that. I'm gonna lower it down, and over here we have another power steering pump. This power steering pump is only a one-sided power steering pump. I definitely am saying that completely wrong, but I don't know the actual way how to say it. But this pump actually has the nut on it too, so that we can take this off. I want to take this one off, and like you guys remember, I have those gold pulleys inside, so I want to change my pulley to this one and then put this power steering pump into my car. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that today. Actually, the next day, the clip that you just saw was us at the track. I was in a 1J S13, actually super sick dude, lives out in Loxahatchee too, or like the acreage area. So I told him we could chill and hang out, and if he wants to, we can. So today what we're gonna do, like I said yesterday, is we're going to go ahead and exchange this pulley onto this power steering pump, and then we're gonna try to get this power steering pump into the 180. So in here, we're gonna have to do a little bit of modification too. So we're gonna take off the intercooler piping. We're going to move some stuff on the side over there out of the way. And then we're gonna have to loosen up the belt for the power steering pump so that we can then go ahead and take it off. Before we even take it off, we're gonna see if it even fits. So let's go ahead and just start this project right away. And then if everything goes right, because I've been having a pretty rough day, if everything goes right, then we're going to look at the diff and see what we can do with the diff, but if not, we'll hold it off for the week. So let's go ahead and try to exchange this power steering pump tonight. Okay guys, so first thing is that we're going to do is, I already jumped a step ahead and I started taking off the intercooler piping on the car, but we're just going to make this the first step actually. So first step is we're going to take this off and we're going to replace it with this one. So this is a 19. I have the gun, the impact gun right here. This here is a 19. I have the impact right here with the 19 on it. So let's go ahead and take this off. I mean, it really helps when you have two hands, but there we go. So now we have to, oh, wow, that was real simple. Okay, we're almost done with this. Look at that, that was super quick. So let's go ahead and make sure that this thing fits on there properly. They actually give you another nut, I believe. So let's go ahead and go and look in the box over here. So the box is right here with all the other pulleys in it that we've taken off, and we are just storing. I never throw away any of my parts, so that's a good thing because then you don't have to worry about anything getting lost or anything, or putting your car back to stock. So there we go. Put these parts back in the box right here, all ready and set to go. So close that up. And then we have a couple of nuts right here and a washer. So I believe that this washer is actually for the alternator, and I believe this nut is actually for the alternator too. So we're going to go ahead and see what goes on with this thing, but let's go ahead and try to get this thing back on. So while you were gone, I took off the actual bracket, and I had noticed that I actually used this piece on the other power steering pump that I had put into the other car. So I have to see if I can get this piece off of mine, or if mine even has it. If it does not, we got a thumbs down for the day, and we can't actually do this today. So then we would move on to trying to figure out what's going on with the diff situation with this thing. So as you can see over there on the dyno, I have my other diff ready to go. I have to spray it out with some brake clean, get all the pieces out of it. I'm going to run that fluid, I'm gonna put it in, I'm gonna run the fluid for a week. I'm gonna drain it because that will get all of the little slag pieces off of the diff, which you can see right here when I turn this thing. So as you can see, there's all those little balls and everything inside the diff right there. So what's gonna happen is all those are eventually going to break off, and they're just gonna be floating around in the diff oil, and you don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the diff and I'm gonna drain it so that all of that stuff comes out, and then we will be putting more new fluid in, maybe some shockproof, just to make sure that when I'm actually drifting this thing, it's not actually going to do the same thing that it did this time. So let's go ahead and continue to take off the intercooler piping. So like I said, I already jumped the gun and I have it halfway off. So now we're gonna go on the underside and take it off, and then we're gonna get a closer look at this power steering pump. Pretty well. This piece right here, this nut piece, is actually the piece that I need for the other power steering pump, so I believe I will be able to use it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this power steering pump completely off, and then we're gonna move on from there. So the next step that we're gonna do is we're gonna take off the belt, and then we're just gonna get this power steering pump on here, and we're gonna see what we can do with it. Yeah. All right, let's keep moving. And figure it all out. So this is the power steering pump that was in the car. This is the one that's gonna go into the car. We have the intercooler piping here, we have the intake piping there, we have a couple tools there, and then we have a nice board right here with our assortment of parts that we've taken off. So on the underside, we have taken off this line, which is now in the garbage. It's right here. This line, I'm actually gonna take the end off of this thing because you never know when you need this end or when you're gonna need that end. So I might actually just keep this hose and put it up top. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this power steering pump off of this one, the stuff off of this that we need. So we need this piece right here, and we need this piece right here. Put all this stuff onto here, and then get this one mounted onto here so that we can actually put it back in the car. Okay guys, so this is just a big waste of time for me to do because this power steering pump is definitely not gonna go on there. So this is just a waste of my time. So now I'm just gonna I don't know. I'm gonna put the power steering pump on, I guess, and then I'll just try to find one. So let's just put all this back on in reverse order and get the car out of here. Okay guys, so the waste of time is all put back together. It's actually like super late. It's 1:30 in the morning, so I'm gonna call it a day now. I know this wasn't that interesting of a video, but tomorrow we're gonna figure some other stuff out. Hopefully tomorrow we can get a lift open and I can actually do the diff on a 180, even though we're running low on funds. So we'll figure this out. You got to put this diff in there because this diff is actually working, and then I could actually drive the car again. So, I mean, the car still drives, but it's not going to drive like a piece of poop anymore. Once again, let's go ahead, pull this thing out, pull in the Supra, and close up and go home. It's a long day, guys. Very long day. So I'll see you guys later. It's been another day later. It's been 4 days later. I've been procrastinating on putting out videos, and I'm suffering for it greatly. But the whole reason why I didn't put in that power steering pump is because it was actually for a Z32, which now I know it does not fit. So I have to start Google searching stuff before I start doing it to the car, because I ran into another problem with the car trying to do something else to it that if I had just looked it up, I would have figured out that, oh, it's not gonna work. But me being stubborn, I probably still would have tried it and then got frustrated with it anyways. But that's besides the point. The 180 is at the shop now. It's been sleeping there for a couple nights, and I will be working on it again. I have to find time. I think I'll be working on it tomorrow night, trying to really figure out what's going on with it. I need to buy either one piece, or I need to figure out how I can modify some stuff to actually fit in it. So I think that's about it though, guys. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, comment, share, do all the good stuff, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.